things off. Excellent. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Harvey Knight, the founder of Sustainable Times, a publication dedicated to bring you the latest news on sustainable business and investment. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to a company that is revolutionizing the property maintenance sector with its innovative digital solution. Evo is a modern and sustainable solution that brings convenience and transparency to the property maintenance sector for both tenants and landlords. But what really sets Evo apart is their commitment to sustainability and improving the conditions of social housing. Their solution makes tradespeople more sustainable by using augmented reality video triage, eliminating the carbon footprint of a tradesperson's visit entirely. They've estimated that 1 in 10 repairs are possible using this technology by 2024. Additionally, Evo's end-to-end service provides the property maintenance sector and streamlines reporting, scheduling, and tracking of maintenance issues, providing a seamless experience for tenants and landlords. They make it easier for landlords to maintain their properties, extend the life of their building, and obviously save huge amounts of cost while also making it quick and transparent for tenants. They already have over 5,500 properties on the platform and are working with some of the UK's largest social housing providers. The presentation will run for roughly about 15 minutes, and then we'll run about a 15-minute Q&A session for anyone that has any questions. So without further ado, it's just my pleasure to introduce you to Dean Shepherd, the co-founder and chief technology officer, and David Ray, the chief financial officer. Over to you guys.
That's excellent, Harvey, and we really appreciate you having us host a webinar for you and your investor group. So first of all, happy Easter, and thank you for spending some of your precious family time with us today. And I wanted to start because this is obviously all about sustainability, and we're going to show you just where Evo fits into that picture. But a little fact that I always find quite interesting when I hear it, and you may have heard it before, but in every hour of every day, the Earth's atmosphere, she receives enough sunlight to power the electricity needs of every human being on the planet for a year. And it just goes to show how far we still need to go to really harness that. But today we're going to tell you how we can actually really dramatically reduce the carbon emissions from the UK housing sector, as well as tell you a lot more about Evo and what we're doing. And Dean and I are extremely passionate about the business. I'm sure that'll come through in our short presentation. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen and take you through our presentation. We've got some little videos that we're going to play you as well, just to show you the technology in action, and also augmented reality video triage service, which is one of the main topics of this evening. So here we go. There we go. So here we have, yes. So what is Evo? I think Harvey's actually explained it very well. So, but what we're doing is we're making repairs easier, faster, and fairer for everyone, both the private rental sector and the social housing sector. And we're trying to make it a bit fun as well. Evo, we like to have fun. We've got a highly experienced team. We've been around the block, a lot of founder experience. So we're trying to bit of fun to what is quite a dull space if you were to talk about it down the pub. So we have our top trump characters. You'll see this come through, and I'll explain our animation in a moment. And what are we talking about here? So what is the property management industry today? How does it work? We've got 4 main protagonists here. Tracy's our tenant. She just wants to be heard, really. She wants to be able to call her home, which if you speak to tenants these days, it's very rare that they get to do that. Then we have Larry, our landlord. He doesn't have enough information to trust his agent, Amy, or really believe the kind of quotes he gets for some of the repairs. And a lot of the feedback we get is it's blindsided and doesn't really have the visibility, especially if he's got more than one property. For 5 or 6 or above properties, he really lacks a lot of information. And then Dave the Trade here, our tradesperson, named after my good self, he's got 5 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot. But when it comes to the rental sector, often he has such little information about the repair being reported and not even the contact details for the tenant in some cases, that is very frustrated. And the whole of this, the way the current sector works at the moment, bring conflict between all of these four main protagonists who are all trying to do their job. And why is that? Well, today, main systems that are in place, believe it or not, in this £30 billion market is WhatsApp, SMS, email, and the phone and the mobile. None of these systems properly integrate together, and you don't get an end-to-end audit trail. There's no visibility for the tenant, Tracy. Larry doesn't see what's going on either. Amy spends all of her day, she's overworked, she's trying to find tenants rather than trying to, in a lot of cases, trying to resolve minor repair issues. So you've got all these people trying to do their best, but it's the systems and processes and the technology that they're using, which is the key issue. Now, we always come up and say the housing sector, especially the UK housing sector, is broken. And you don't need to believe me when I say that. Here is very recent news from the UK Housing Ombudsman. And you can see here, there is a catalogue of failures. Severe maladministration is the main thing that comes across. So these are housing associations, local authorities with 20, 30, 40, 50, some cases 100,000 properties. They have no visibility themselves as to the condition of those properties. They have no idea what the tenants are saying, and they are beholden to their traditional repairs and maintenance contractor to try and get these things done. There is a different way to do things, yeah, and that is Evo. And there are a few other businesses out there that purport to do the same as us, but we will do our best to tell you why we are different. Yeah, Evo, we allow tenants to report an issue in under 30 seconds from the palm of their hand, from their mobile phone, where landlords have full transparency on issues reported. They can monitor outcomes, but they remain in full control of their property portfolio. Not one landlord will ever pay a bill that they don't have full visibility or sight of beforehand. Where trades can access local jobs at times convenient to them without wasting their time with quoting and paper chasing. Massive bugbear for tradespeople that have to do quote, 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 quote. Where Evo, we give them jobs fully priced in an area where they can choose. So let's break this up a little bit, and I'll play you our little explainer animation. And it's only 1 minute 45 seconds long. So have a look at this.
The rental property sector is broken. Landlords feel overwhelmed by maintenance requests and compliance requirements. Housing providers are held back by out-of-date systems. And tradespeople aren't given enough information to fix problems quickly. This means tenants are forced to live in poorly maintained homes that may not be safe or secure. Evo is working to make things better for everyone by putting tenants at the heart of property management, raising standards and combating homelessness. The Evo app connects tenants, landlords, tradespeople and housing providers to share information and manage maintenance and compliance effortlessly. When something goes wrong, tenants can report it in under 30 seconds using the Evo app. They're asked to provide details about the problem and add photos so that the job can be presented to local, accredited tradespeople. The app provides all the information needed to access the property and repair the issue. It also contains the property service history, such as when the boiler was last serviced or where the stopcock is located. You wouldn't buy a car without a service history, so why would you move into a property without one? Housing providers and landlords can oversee all their properties using the Evo dashboard, which keeps the property documents, compliance information, user guides and FAQs in one place. Evo can provide custom integration with any existing system. Evo is already helping thousands of landlords significantly reduce operating costs and ensure compliance while improving tenant experience. The result is that landlords save time and money, tradespeople can be more efficient, and tenants get to live in a safe and happy home. Let's transform property management together. Get in touch to arrange a demo. Evo, for landlords who care.
Well, I hope you found that video a little intuitive. One of the main case studies that we have is that we were lucky enough to get British Land as a client when we were beta testing our product. And over the last 2.5 years, we have managed to automate. So their property manager didn't have to touch 82% of their repairs. these repairs only equated to 27% of their total spend. And at the same time, we reduced their operating expenses by more than 60%. Yeah, and in Inside Housing, which is a social housing main trade magazine, they credited us with actually increasing tenant retention by 30%. And we expect that to grow as that experience of the tenant being listened to and heard and being able to call their home a home actually comes through. So that's the animation that we've got there, yeah. Now I've got a little video, I did a little screen recording earlier today, specifically for this webinar, of me going through reporting a problem on the Evo Living app, which is downloadable from both the Android and the Apple stores and has been for quite some time. We also have a dashboard for our landlords and property managers and letting agents. And we also have a trades services app, which is a bit like Tinder for repairs. So a fully priced job goes in. If it's one that meets the criteria, so the skill of the tradesperson, the location that they will do jobs, and a time and date that they've said that they're available, it will pop up just as it would do on a Tinder app, and they can swipe left if they don't want it and swipe right if they do. So let's have a quick look at this and put a little bit of music on this to make it a bit of fun, and I'll talk over it. See me here going through. This is report a problem on the main page. I'm about to report a leaky radiator. This is how long it takes to actually report an issue by one of our tenants. Here I've typed this in, but you can talk to our app. So we can cater for any language, and our help desk, because we are a managed solution and not just only digital, and then translate our end. So I've recorded the problem and it's in the hallway. Now I'm going to take a picture. Obviously I don't have a radiator where I was, so I took a picture of our exhibition stand behind me, as you can see. And if you time that, I think that's less than 30 seconds to actually record an issue. And here you go, the customer gets an immediate feedback that their job has been logged. When we go into appointments, you can see that 173 is the one that I just logged there. Just to prove it, there you go, so it's been logged. That would go into our pricing algorithm in the background, but I just wanted to scroll through. So once it's been priced and approved, yeah, then it goes out to a contractor, and you can see there that Harry Tubbs has been assigned that, and our tenant and trades person can actually get together as it contacts each other to arrange anything. But it's not just a report and problem app, it's a digital logbook for the home. What do we mean by that? It means you've got everything you need here, going through a few of the things to get where the electric meters are, renter's guide, and also FAQs in your area. So what's my council? Where's my fuse box? If I click the attachment there, it would actually show me a picture of my own fuse box, not some generic picture that other recording tools may do. But you've got a lot of useful information in there. And what we find is our landlords, just move that on, our landlords can also make that quite a bespoke section. So they can deliver tenancy agreements, and things relevant in, say, build to rent. There might be some community side to it as well. So there's an awful long way we can go. So that's Evo. That's a little bit about technology. You can find out more about us on our website and things as well. But what about the market? You know, we're in the UK rental property market at the moment. There are 10.5 million properties in the UK, and on average, across the private and social sector, landlords spend a staggering £2,784 a year. And that's on repairs, maintenance and compliance alone. So that excludes management fees. And you know what estate agents charge? Anywhere between 8 and 15% just to manage a property. That doesn't include a repair or a compliance event or any maintenance of the property. So we've got that 30 billion UK only market. And that's not where we're stopped, because we're in property rental, because it means that the bill payer and our tradesperson in what can be a cash industry are separated. There's a moat between them. So that means that Evo is not going to be disintermediated, unlike, importantly, the marketplace businesses which are out there. Yeah. Our next steps, and we're already speaking to, is the insurance industry. Yeah, it's a massive market, but if you think when you're reporting an emergency or a repair that's required for insurance purposes, we have a 100% clear and visible audit trail from start to finish of that repair incident all the way through to completion. Insurance companies are loving this at the moment, and something that they're pushing us to do. And one of the reasons why we're raising money at the moment is to try and free up some product development budget to actually be able to provide a white label product with a specific insurance company who's got 50,000 insurees to do. Following this, once we've built a full SaaS solution, which will be, it's not quite there from the full SaaS space at the moment, it's a managed solution at the moment, will be direct to homeowners. Now, why is that important? So at the moment, if you're a homeowner and you've got a repair to do, you might go to Check a Trade or Trust a Trade or ask a friend for a referral. But if you had a trusted brand with a network of over, in our case at the moment, over 6,000 vetted, fully insured tradespeople, and you had an Evo back 12-month guarantee, you could just download the app from the App Store, take a picture of the issue, tell us when you're available, because it'll be priced immediately based on the time that we think, our pricing area will think that that repair would take. And you've got certainty, you've got a guarantee, you've got a trusted brand. No longer do you need to rely on Paul the plumber and make sure that he's around. If it doesn't work in 12 months' time, he's giving you a guarantee, but you know, have I lost Paul's number or anything? It would all be in your transaction history with Evo. So the future is huge just within the UK market before we even look at the US, which is obviously where some of our aspirations lie. And just saying this, you know, why would people choose us? Purely from, you know, I gave you the British Land case study, but we believe we can save over 90% on management fees. Our bronze plan is £5 a month. So that's £60 for an entire year of management. Compare that to 10% of rental income, which is bang average for London at least. That's a huge, huge, huge saving. But we also save on the operating expenses over 50% in the social housing space and over 20 to 25% in the private rental sector. So obviously building type specific on a me. So our vision, we believe there's a better way. And the key thing to get across to you today is that our technology is here. We've been going since 2018. It's a fully developed solution. Got clients of British Land, Ranger PLC, Capital Letters, Storm Housing. And we have, Harvey mentioned 5,500, but the update is we're up to 5,900. And I'll tell you a bit about that why in a second. This solution is here today. And if you follow the news, and you've got the sad story of Awab Ishak, the young toddler who died from mold inhalation. You know, these kind of stories should never happen. Our solution is here. We've been trying to get to Michael Gove and tell him about our solution. We've told the Housing Ombudsman, we're speaking to everyone out there that we can. But the technology is here today to avoid these atrocities that are happening almost on a daily basis, as you can see from the Housing Ombudsman slide I showed you earlier. So getting back to sustainability. Now, if you ask a tradesperson, you know, how they would become more sustainable, they would probably turn around and say, well, I'm paperless now, I just use my phone, or I'm investing in more efficient equipment, more reliable equipment, so that it uses less energy and it lasts for longer, or I'm recycling, or I'm switching an electric vehicle, or I'm sourcing local parts, or maybe even, you know, stuff that they should be doing as bulk standard. I leave the work site clean, so there's no waste and no chemical spillage, etc. Well, how about, why don't we use technology with augmented video triage, is what we're doing here, to completely remove and eliminate a visit of a tradesperson to a house. You just don't need to have that. And what I wanted to show you here is real life repair that was done via the Evo technology solution for one of our customers. So I'll just press play on this and tell me if you can
just get you to, that's it, that one there, that's it, turn that one off.
You can see that that is a virtual hand from one of our
Secondly, if we can
tradespeople.
go back to the sink now, or the tap, I'm going to ask you just to run the water, put it on the cold part. That's,
Yep.
yeah, so just run that. Now, if you can put the camera back beneath the sink, so we look and make sure it's not coming from any pipe work before we do it. If you can move that box, if you can move that box out of the way, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah,
Ah, see, it's leaking there. Can you see the water dripping down? So I think
Yeah.
the issue is coming from that trap there. So look, there's a couple of things we can very quickly try. If you look at, there's a like a large nut here and a large nut here. Can you first and foremost, this one here, can you just turn that the way I'm turning my hand? See if you can tighten it up. It might.
this one.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Tighten up. Keep tightening it so it gets the hand tight. That's it. Perfect. Okay. That's it. Now, can you see? I can't see no more water dripping from there, but you might want to clean that up if you can. Just get the water residue off. That's it. Is the water still
So I
running?
turn the water off.
No, just keep it running for now. Keep it running. Keep it running. I just want to make sure that that is the only problem. I can totally understand why you thought it was the water heater, but I think we may have solved the problem.
Yeah, it seems to not be dripping.
So that was a very simple repair, and only the simple stuff can really be done via this video triage service. But to empower a tenant to repressurize their boiler system or to defrost their flue in the winter that's frozen outside when it gets below about -5, the amount of call outs that, you know, heating engineers, and these are expensive people when it comes down to it, you know, we believe we can get this to at least 1 in every 10 repairs. That's 10% less tradesmen's visits. On top of that, tenant gets immediate, you know, within an hour, they get their problem resolved. They're not waiting in anymore. They've done it. If that problem re-emerges, they know how to solve it themselves. And on top of that, landlords don't pay for a tradesperson's visit. They pay for a video triage call, which is a fraction of the cost. It's like 10% to actually do that. So you crush the costs, you improve the tenant experience, and you completely eliminate all carbon emissions from a tradesperson's visit. This technology is here. We use it every day in our office. And, you know, we're also empowering a new workforce here as well, because, you know, this 30-year experienced plumber, you know, but his knees are out now and he can't go out into the field. He can do this from the comfort of his own home. There is an entire workforce out there ready and raring to actually offer their experience. And actually, you think about the job satisfaction, the self-esteem that you're going to get back, the extra money that they get. You know, it's a win-win-win all round, this kind of system. And I know not everything can be done like this. Take this on board. Over 75% of repairs and maintenance in rental properties can be done within 2 hours. They're very, very routine. And we're talking about trying to move 10% of those into video triage calls. And if we can't actually repair the issue with video triage, maybe the tenant is unable to do it, or maybe it's more complicated. What we do is we get a very informed picture of the repair issue, much further than what a photo and a report from a tenant can give us. It enables us to give a tradesperson that will go out to site more knowledge. The more knowledge that they have, higher chance they will fix that repair first time. In some housing associations we're speaking to, their first time fix rate is less than 30%. Evo's first time fix rate is 94.56%. I know that because we looked at it earlier. Now, if you think about that, you know, only 5% of our trips are wasted in that case, whereas 70% of the trips in some housing associations are wasted. So not only are you removing site visits, but you're also making sure that when you do make a site visit, you can actually make the repair. Again, it's really powerful stuff, and this is here today, and I'm super passionate about this.
Just get you.
So what have we done so far? I mean, we can ask some questions on this, but we only went live with our product in July last year to the market, and we've experienced 43% H2 2022 versus H2 2021 growth, which is astounding, really. On top of that, we've built a sales pipeline of over £40 million on a probability adjusted basis. We signed capital letters, which is a partnership of 20 London boroughs in the end of October last year. We've got an exclusive partnership with Storm Housing, where we're going to have 5,000 properties within 5 years as well. Those two contracts alone, when their targets are reached, will deliver Evo just under £7 million of annual recurring revenues. Yeah, and what we're doing at the moment is giving ourselves enough capital to allow us to get to these goals. First time fixed rates, loan to value, everything else. And our trades network, well, we've got over 6,000 bedded trades already. And I'm more than happy to answer questions on that. But that's enough tradespeople to fulfill our next 2023 and 24 years growth plans. With regards to the sales pipeline, we hit a revenue run rate of over 90K in September last year. Andreas, we're going to take questions at the end. Yep, we will. Thank you very much. So, just on a run rate, we've obviously got over £1 million. Contracted revenues, so capital letters and a few others, plus storm housing, there's your 9 million. Then the sales pipeline. And I'm super pleased to say that this week we agreed terms with a housing association for a pilot of 206 properties, which will go live. I think it's the 18th of April. It's a small number of properties, but it's a great case study for the social housing sector. It's a 12-month pilot, which will be extended to their circa 800 properties by the end of the year. On top of that, one of the first wins from our capital letters contract as well, is a partnership of 20 London local authorities. One of those local authorities with 24,000 properties has asked us to do a pilot for 300 units, 300 properties, to go to 4,000 by the end of the year. Now, we're not forecasting more than 2,000 unit growth this year in totality. That one deal alone will smash the numbers that we've got into the market at the moment. We have a large insurance company that we're speaking to as well on affordable homes. It's slightly longer term. It'll probably come in the beginning of the second half of this year. This sales pipeline has been built up over the last 4 and a bit years, maybe even 5 years now. So these relationships and the slow sales cycle are real in the social housing space. It's a Jurassic space. Procurement processes are, hard work, but we've done that hard work. And how have we done it? Because we've got a very experienced team. Steve Norris, love him or hate him, depending on which side of the fence you sit politics-wise, but he was the transport minister for John Major. He was instrumental in bringing in the Oyster card. He is part of the Property Power 100. He is chairman of Soho Estates already. So, some serious relationships there. Craig Corder has done an astounding job in delivering a lot of our social housing leads, relationships, and the stuff that we've got in the pipeline. And, he lives and breathes property. Myself, I built a trades network in the renewable heat area. We became larger than British Gas in less than 3 years. And we bought traditional renewable heating engineers, retrained them, and grew that to over 4,000 trades in 3 years. And we delivered 35 million in revenue from a standing start. There was nothing to start with, about 300K in revenue, 35 million in that start. But I hand over to Dean to give the rest of the team.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, David. Detailed as always. Mark and I, my co-founder, built this business from the back of building a repair services business. And I've been building technology systems for a range of different industries for a long time, but never anything that can go at the scale of this. So after we raised our first capital in 2021, the goal was to bring in some people around us. They've actually been there and done this at this level of scale. David has, we hired Stephen Ray, yes, David's brother first. Steve had previously built an energy procurement management and SaaS platform, which he sold in 2015. He previously brought in David to help him with the sale of that business and quickly introduced us to David as well to help us with what we're doing here. Steve Moore is the king of IoT and smart technology. I worked for Steve over 20 years ago, and we've stayed very close ever since then. Advises a lot of big companies. If you can see on the screen there, he advises Ring and Amazon and Apple and a number of big household names. He also went to Dixon's Carphone to lead out their connected home solutions and was there for quite a while. Bloomerly is our technology advisor, one of our earlier investors with Mahara. They're our software development company. They're a global outfit, amazing teams to work with, and absolutely huge part of what our business is today and the technology that we're building. Mark is not so much young sung hero, but he's the one who's really at the coalface and delivering everything that we do on the ground, you know, as good as what the technology could be, and back office. It's all about ultimate delivery of the repair service. So, you know, Mark leads that. He astounds us every day how good he is at doing that. So yeah, we've got I think we've got a pretty rock star team, and
well, we would say that, but we'll leave it to your judgment. So I know we're running out a little bit of time here. So just on the funding round itself, we previously raised 1.2 million in July 2021. And because of market conditions, we're raising at the same valuation as that July 2021. Despite all the progress the company has made, we know what's happened to the marketplace, so we're being realistic. And as such, we've already got over 1.2 million raised from 207 investors at the latest count on Cedars. Now, if you use your phone, you can use that QR code that will go to our Cedars page. If you want to invest direct, you can. There is a minimum of 5k to come direct, but Cedars you can invest for as little as £10. And yeah, we're obviously EIS eligible. We've got advanced assurance already, and all the money we've raised to date from UK investors has received EIS. Thanks. Harvey, that's about it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. I know we're running over time ever so slightly. So, Andreas, I know you've got your hand up. If you wanted to maybe pop your question in the Q&A box. I will just kick off the Q&A session, and we'll keep it brief. But I wanted to ask you guys, what makes differentiates Evo from its competitors?
I think mainly number one is that we're a managed service. There's a whole plethora of report or repair platforms out there that, you know, they're built with the goal of getting tenants off the phone and off of email, rather than being there as a, you know, as a solution. And, you know, they're pretty disengaging. The residents, they get told about it when they move in. They ultimately forget because they don't have anything to report, and then have to fumble around the website, which they'll forget.
Mm-hmm.
What I understood, and we learn every day, was that we actually need to give them other elements that are useful to them without a repair. Know your home, where's my documents, any other questions that I need to find, that they engage with more often, and then we're a call for help button when something breaks, and they can track that from start to finish. And that's where we're really seeing the traction. As I said, there's a number of companies doing different stages of that journey. We're just knitting that together, really. We don't think it's rocket science. We just come from the service view for doing that.
Excellent. That sounds good. And Russell has entered in a question here. What is your exit strategy and the likely term of investments?
Well, I love this question, Russell. Thank you very much, because it thinks the same way that we're thinking. I think at a kind of board level, we've all got different aspirations. I'm personally in for the long term because I can see the future of this. It's not just the UK. I think we're worth 700 million just in the UK alone. But I think the US, we could be mega in the US. So we've already had conversations with insurance companies. One thing we haven't really touched on is the data piece. It's where the future really lies in this business. As a business model, we take SaaS subscriptions, we take a management fee on the repairs. We also take out the volatility of these repair events by offering plans, home, heating, compliance, and things like that to actually do that. So we've got very many different, 3 major revenue streams at the moment. But the data piece, because we're building up a service history, you might have picked it up in the explainer animation, but that service history is so valuable for not just the insurance sector, but those are the people that are starting to take note. We've got an end-to-end, you know, repair diagnostic, exactly what happened, but also on a property level, what happened and when, you know, has that roof been maintained? You know, is there a persistent damp issue? Is there, you know, has it been flooded lately? Anything else? But, you know, that kind of stuff really informs underwriting risk. So insurance is a potential sector to exit to. There are some large players in the business. In our sector, there's a business called Plantific, raised $100 million in a Series C to go with their offering to the US, and their offering is It's a nice front end, but it attaches to a marketplace. Doesn't take out. It's not end to end in that thing. And a marketplace itself, it's expensive because you've got lots of fees involved from their side. That's the feedback we have from some kind of existing and ex-Plantific customers. They raised that $100 million and over a $400 million valuation. And there's AL PropTech was a big investor in there. There are some serious investors in this space, and then obviously the property industry. We're speaking to a few venture funds at the moment. They've got 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 properties themselves. We could just be brought in-house as their internal solution. So there are so many different avenues to exit. But what we've said really to the seeds investors, you're an EIS investor, you need to keep it for 3 years to get your benefits. We will make sure there's an exit event for you guys, whether that be a partial, exit or a secondary sale after that 3 years. So you have the option to exit in that 3 years, or you can continue on the journey with the rest of us for 5, 6, 7 years. Most venture funds, once we get them on board, they have a 5 to 10 year horizon. And they want at least 10x as a return. We think we're going to get 25, 30x, and it's going to be 5 to 7 years in total. There will be an exit event for people within in the 3 year just after the EIS win.
Sorry, I know we're a little bit tight on time, Harvey, and everyone watching. When we first raised, our first 3 investors were from insurance background, like Allianz and Aviva and Admiral. They can all see this. We think there's a massive value piece here in the data element. There's a lot of talk about what AI can do in the future. The AI is only as good as the outcome data. That today is sparring. We're gathering that at quite speed. So there's a number of opportunities, but yeah, we think it'll be around the insurance space.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I'll ask one more question here. Do you expect to do any additional rounds of funding after this round?
Yeah, we will need to raise about another $1 million. We're speaking to a board member from Innovate UK about getting 300 to maybe 500,000 of that via a match grant for the product development. But we know the sales cycle. I mean, we may not need that, but I'm FCA qualified. I've been doing this for quite some time, and you don't want to have any kind of rescue funding round because that destroys values for everything. So there is a planned another $1 million raise towards the end of this year. That'll be on at least with the contracts we've got, that'll be 10 million plus valuation, and that will lead to 9.1% dilution for everyone coming in now. So to achieve that 100 million plus valuation, to take 9.1% dilution to get there. But we have thought about that, and that is obviously we want to generate shareholder value. And just with the senior management team, our option plan is all based on milestones. So it only vests in full when we get to 20,000 properties. We're at 5,900 now, and at 20,000 properties, we can make the business profitable. Excellent.
I'll wrap this up now, guys. I know we've just run slightly over, but there is one more question from Russ. But if you could sort of wrap it up, when does this round close? How can people get involved? And obviously, if you can answer those questions. And
so the round closes on Cedars on the 12th of April. If you want to go via that platform, but we can take investment until the end or towards the end of April direct. So yeah, you've got that time for this price point. It's the time frame, and then we look for the larger round towards the end of the year at a good premium to what people are getting in today.
Excellent. And David, is it possible to launch the poll at the bottom? It should be there available.
Yeah, we can do.
Just to get the feedback.
Launching now.
Excellent. Yeah. So guys, if you could provide us with your feedback, if there's traction there, we will be distributing this recording to everyone that did and obviously didn't attend. So if you do have any questions, queries, just fire them over to us. We'll send over the contact details should you have any questions.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, and thank you everyone who's attended. It's a pleasure to be able to present. Sustainability is very close to my heart. I floated a fuel cell company on market, the first one back in 2006. It's now worth over 700 million. It's a business called ITM Power. That's when I got into the hydrogen economy, really started understanding about, you know, the difference that we need to make, which is why I thought I'd start with that silly fact about solar. But just think, if we can do that, and then you look at what we're doing with, you know, augmented reality video triage, and it's a really small element. It's a big step for the UK housing industry.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you for hosting, Harvey, and
Yeah.
thank you for everybody for joining and watching, and anyone watching the recording. Hello.
Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Well, thank you everyone for your time, and I look forward to catching up with everyone in due course. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
All
you.
the best. Bye now.
Cheers.